Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I'm here with my friend and partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So we want to welcome everybody watching live and on the replay. And we say, hey, it's time to tech talk with Tech Talk and to talk tech in English. So, friend, we always like to get started with this week in tech history. So I'm going to
Okay, we
give you
ready?
the stage. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so got a couple of stories here. I'm thinking, okay, Terry, I think I like that one better.
Okay.
All right, here we go. March 13th, 1986, 10 years after the company's founding, Microsoft Corporation stock goes public at $21 per share. The
Hmm.
stock will eventually close at $27.75 a share, and it peaked at 29.25 per share after shortly opening.
Mm.
It is said that the rising value of Microsoft stock has made an estimated 4 billionaires, 12,000 millionaires of Microsoft employees.
Mm.
And
Wow.
right. And he was 30 at the time, and that was $350 million.
Okay.
That's
I'm not mad at him.
no,
Congratulations. Wow.
yes.
Hmm.
March 14th, 1839.
Hmm.
Almost exactly 58 years to the day that his father, William, discovered the planet Uranus, John Herschel presented to the Royal Society his Note on the Art of Photography, or the application of the chemical rays of light to the purposes of pictorial representation.
Mm.
This is considered the first recorded use of the word photography.
Mm.
John Herschel was a famous English scientist and polymath. Okay, not sure what a polymath is. Doing work as a mathematician, astronomer, chemist, inventor, and experimental photographer. He was also the inventor of the blueprint among his many accomplishments.
Mm. Hmm. Wow.
Okay. There was no multitasking there. Okay.
Mm.
Bell Lab announces TRADEC. March 14th, 1955, AT&T Bell Laboratory announces the completion of the fully transistorized computer TRADEC. TRADEC, which stood for a transistor digital computer, contained nearly 800 transistors, which replaced the standard vacuum tube and allowed the machine to operate on fewer than 100 watts, which was 1/20th the power required by a comparable vacuum tube computer.
Hmm.
This computer is huge. The picture I'm looking at is very huge. March 15th, 1975, issue number one of the Homebrew Computer Club's newsletter is published. Only 21 issues are published through December of 1977, but the newsletter is considered influential in the early culture of the personal computer industry. That was in 75, doesn't seem that long ago. March 15th, 1985, the first internet domain, symbolics.com, is registered by Symbolics, a Massachusetts computer company.
Hmm.
85. Wow. Then 15 years later, there was the .com whole situation. Let's see.
Not to mention Y2K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see where I want to go with this. There are lots of things to talk about
Oh,
left.
good.
All right. Well, let me just do this other story. That one is very long.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do that story.
Well, I only have one story today, so I want you to know that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So, let's go here. The first liquid fueled rocket launched
Mm.
March 16th, 1926. Robert Goddard, now considered the father of modern rocketry, successfully launched the world's first liquid fueled rocket in Auburn, Massachusetts. The rocket reached an altitude of 41 feet in 2 seconds at a speed of about 60 miles per hour. The concept of using liquid as fuel allowed the advancement of rocket technology to the point where space travel was made possible. Goddard died in 1945 before his vision of space travel became a reality. However, NASA acknowledged his contributions by naming the Goddard Space Flight Center after him.
Wow, what year was that? Did he fuel that rocket?
1926 is when he
Wow.
um,
Do not despise small beginnings. The things that we think, oh, that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And here they are using that same technology
right.
to reach the moon. Wow.
So his work goes on after him.
Hmm.
March 16th, 1995, the world's first wiki web is gets its start as Ward Cunningham sends an email inviting people to add and edit content.
Mm.
Cunningham officially launches Wiki Web 9 days later on March 25th. A wiki is a database that can be a community collaboration. Rather than calling his creation Quick Web, Cunningham said the inspiration for the name Wiki came from the Wiki shuttle bus he learned of during a trip to Hawaii.
Hmm.
Wiki meaning quick or fast in the Hawaiian language. 6 years later, Wikipedia is launched, although Cunningham has no official involvement.
Hmm.
So, and that's why Dr. Tachi always warns us about getting information from Wikipedia because the information is community contributed.
And not vetted.
Not sometimes it's not vetted, although
Hmm.
they do put down in the footer, um,
Sometimes the source.
yeah, source and references and stuff like that.
Hmm.
However, so somebody can write something in there and it may not be that all that accurate. You can go there to start, and then maybe you need to go check other sources afterwards to confirm their findings.
Yes, that makes sense.
Let's see. Mac OS 10 Server 1 is released, and this is on March 16th, 1999. This was the first version of Mac OS available uh, as the desktop version would not be released until just over a year later on March 24th, 2001. It was derived from the Next Step technology that Apple acquired in its purchase of Steve Jobs' company Next, which also brought back Jobs as an advisor and eventually CEO. Um, the Mac OS 10 Server 1 is important in history as the first shipping example of what would become Mac OS 10 operating system, later OS 10, and then Mac OS, which was not only a major advancement for the Apple Macintosh platform, but would also form the basis of Apple's future iOS and iPad OS operating systems. However, this original 1.0 release was fairly rough around the edges and was met with mixed reviews due to various technical limitations and interface oddities due to the not yet completed transition from the next step interface model. All
Mm.
that to say,
Thank you.
um, we got here from the Mac OS 1 Server 1.0.
Okay. Thank you. Because they lost me in all that language. I was like, where are we with this?
Yes, I was like, okay. So They just could have said the OS 10 server led the way to what we have now.
Okay.
Okay. My
Oh,
last story, Vanguard 1 is launched March 17th, 1958. The American satellite Vanguard 1 is launched. About the size of a grapefruit, Vanguard 1 was the second American satellite launched and the fourth man-made object in Earth orbit following Sputnik 1, Sputnik 2, and Explorer 1. It was the first satellite to have solar power, highest object launched at the time, and currently holds the record for the oldest man made object still in orbit. Vanguard 1 is expected to stay in orbit until the late 22nd century.
mm,
Okay, what is it doing? I have no idea.
but it's there.
It's there.
Well, Mark has a comment.
Okay, Mark.
We were talking about Wikipedia earlier. He says there are so many times when I hear podcasts, radio hosts that have used WikiLeaks for bio info for the questions that have been wrong.
Yeah, Wikipedia is not where you go to source your stuff. I mean, you can start there, but you still need to go somewhere else. That is your week in tech history.
Well, thank you so much, Fran. We are always helped by that. I have one little story that I want to share with you guys that I think will be of interest to you. We always like to talk about entrepreneurs, particularly young entrepreneurs who are up and coming. And I wanted to share with you this interesting story about a young lady who's involved in STEM, and which is what science, technology, engineering, and math projects at her high school. She's a high school student, and she'll be going to college this coming September. And I found her through the Department of Defense website, which I thought was interesting. Um, so let me see if I can share my screen and bring this up. Uh, I found a little video. So I'm going to go full screen with this. And I hope it looks good on your end. Does it look good on your end?
Yeah, we can see it really well.
Okay, so let me start the video.
I'm Deja Taylor, and I will be a college freshman this fall. I'm a scientist and inventor. I've gotten to bring awareness to inequities in healthcare because I created color changing stitches that change color and provide early detection for infections. I came to this idea by reading an article. It's so cool how you can read scientific articles and have some inspiration come from those. I happen to be one of those students. I saw that these scientists made these really fancy stitches. The problem with that was that they were going to be too expensive for the people who actually could really use them and could help combat disproportionality in surgical site infections. So I stepped in and I made a cost effective suture that relies on the basic scientific principles of chemistry. So, what surprised me the most about this process is the fact that you can have no scientific background and still be successful in conducting scientific research. I didn't have any background in this subject or this subject matter prior to just immersing myself in the scientific realm. And now here I am with so much experience under my belt that I look forward to producing in college and working in college labs. We started by having just a basic hypothesis like, oh, if this is paired with this, then this will happen. And it just so happened to work for me. There are a lot of trial and error that comes with this process that I didn't really have insight to when I started my research. My experience with working with my mentor has been amazing. If you want to get into scientific research, I 100% recommend that you find someone who's already in that field that can help you start those roots and flourish as you continue throughout your scientific research process. The best advice my mentor has given me was to keep going. To my students out there who are interested in STEM or may not even be interested in STEM, I just encourage you to do whatever your heart desires. Be curious. I stepped into this STEM field just as curious as I could be, and it turned out so well for me because I just followed my curiosity to the very end.
So I thought that that was an interesting story about a young lady. She took the sutures and dipped them in beet juice because she was watching the a science channel and they were talking about the properties of beet juice and how it changed. And so as a result, her sutures turn a different color. They turn darker and darker to let you know if the wound is actually infected.
Wow.
Now, we use sutures that give all the electronic impulses that allow the doctor to know. But in countries where they don't have this kind of technology or the benefit of this, or even think about it, even on battlegrounds, you'll be able to see if something is progressing. And it's so cost effective. It's just like, wow, this young lady deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. This is major for saving lives. And so I wanted to share that with you. And her name is Deja Taylor, and she is a high school senior, and this was her science project. And everybody was so freaked out. It's like, oh my gosh, something so simple could have such a dramatic impact on the world of medicine.
Wow.
Yes. And what I liked is that she said her mentor
Hmm.
told her to stick with it, and that's the importance of having a mentor, a coach, a community, somebody that's going to support you in what it is that you're doing. So she had the support, and she dived in and did the work.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was good.
Well,
Yeah,
so
that was awesome.
I just wanted to share that so maybe it would encourage some young people who think, oh, I really haven't had the chance to be very scientific in high school. Remember, some of them missed 3 years of high school. Okay, so
Wow.
there was no lab. There was no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So I thought that this would be encouraging, and to others who may have just an idea based on stuff that they've come across in their kitchen. Uh,
Yeah.
that could change the world so significantly. So I wanted.
Yeah, I'm glad that, things like this is getting shine, or, people are,
Attention and
yeah, attention for young people,
Mhm.
because this opens up the world to them, to where they can go, okay, that's cool, that might be something I want to pursue, instead of the normal, I'm going to be a ball player, I'm going to be a rapper, entertainer. There's other things. STEM is great,
It
but
is.
they have to be encouraged at a young age.
So.
STEM. STEM stimulates the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
And there's
Okay.
another one they put in too. I forgot what is in the
Yes.
STEM.
Yes, because they put an E in there so
Yeah.
it's STEAM,
Mhm.
and not sure what it is.
But I thought that this was interesting that the Department of Defense are helping to support STEM, and I could see where this would be important to the Department of Defense. I mean, you've got people doing surgery in some obscure places
Hmm.
where there isn't always electricity, and to
And
be able.
then there's a lot of I'm sorry, there's a lot of areas where there's not doctors and
Exactly.
scientists, and
Mm-hmm.
A lot of places you would think it's 2023 that every place would have like a hospital or a doctor. A lot of places don't have that in rural areas. And there's doctors and nurses and people like that that they have to try to attract for
Yes.
them to come there to serve those communities.
And also, it shows people who are not trained. Oh, it's turning darker. I need to go see somebody.
Right.
To give you a signal as to when should you go or call the doctor that
Right.
it's not moving in the right direction. So,
Go ahead. I found out what STEAM stands for:
okay.
science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Okay. So
Okay.
the arts, that's good.
That's good.
It's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to share that.
This
Thank
this
you.
was this was real good. Thank you. And TJ, I think you're up.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get a memo or anything from Dr. Taji?
I'll look at
No, I think she's still in Buffalo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I got a like a emergency
Oh, no.
text, so just give me a second.
Take your time, because I wanted to looking up different things as a part of Tech Life Weekly. We want to make sure that you get good information about whatever it is that you are working on in the world of tech, especially for your day-to-day business, especially for your business. So much technology comes out and it changes. And we need to be aware of changing and things of that nature. I was looking at something somebody had put together. My client, one of my real estate clients was interested in a home that was in kind of like a rural area, or kind of in an area where there's not a lot of internet. And so we were looking to find out what internet companies are in that area, right? And so we are looking at we were going online to find out, okay, who's the internet provider? And then we came across this one website they were promoting a satellite company, but the website was so archaic. There was no imagery. It was just, okay, the websites that are just text. And let me see if I was like, how are you even doing this in
23?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is not cool, because it just was bad. County internet service providers. And I was like, I don't know if I can anyway not show them, but I was like, who did this? Okay, is this the place? Because I was like, no. And anyway, it was and I was just appalled. It was just very 19. Okay, when did internet come out? It was just about the time. It was just about the time internet came out, and I was like, no.
The 70s, the internet was in. Well, you mean the beginning, or you mean when we started using it was the 90s.
Okay, this is the kind where the government was using it.
It's 70 something, 74.
Right.
I want to say 74. That might not be right.
When we were on DOS, so you talking about
yeah, we was on doing, it was doing stuff like that. I was like, see,
this and
it was bad. Anyway, TJ, I'm gonna let you have
it.
Because it was
all
bad.
right, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. Let's bring you up.
Hey, Carlos says it was 1958, so I was way off.
Oh, okay.
He said 95. I'm thinking the 70s. I'm thinking email. I think email was the 70s, right, Carlos?
And I don't know if we were allowed
Oh, he
on
don't know. He
58. 58 might have been
he
the military
joking.
when they were building. Oh, okay.
Carlos doesn't know. We
Oh,
if we Google it real quick, we'll get it.
oh,
Right.
let's ask Wikipedia. Let's see.
Let's ask
No.
Chat GPT.
Oh yeah, we can ask Chat GPT and it'll go out there and find all of the.
Mhm, mhm.
We
I
could
was
do
like,
that. Not on Bing though. I hate Bing.
no, no, I would not be looking for it over there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, while you doing that,
Oh,
I'll
here
get
it is.
got
Okay.
it.
Oh my gosh, this is bad, people. Bad. Okay,
What
let me
what are
show
we?
you my.
How are we off?
Huh?
How much are we off? You
Oh,
said
I don't know about
bad.
the timing. I'm just going to show
Oh
you what these people did.
Hmm.
Share a screen.
oh.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
This is what they had.
All righty then.
Ooh,
Uh,
that is
Ancient.
like 1989,
Are you sure
91.
that's not a government site?
It has, it's 2016 or some of the posts
Ooh,
in 2017,
no,
but
honey.
2017 is as bad.
Mhm.
There was some website I was gonna get a subscription or buy something, and I looked at the bottom and it said copyright 2020. I was like, nope, because you don't even care to put the code in that puts the current year. I'm not going to buy from you.
Mhm.
And this is not good if people are looking to get internet service. This is not a reputable. I'm sorry, this
I
ain't.
wouldn't even. I would be like, wait a minute, is this the Wayback Machine or something?
This is bad. I was like,
Is this the
ooh.
Internet Archive page? I'm
Mhm.
just like, no, I'm just real like, mm-mm. And especially if you're buying something, and we talked about this, if you buy stuff with a debit card,
Uh-huh.
you and something happens, you're not getting that money back. The bank goes, well, that's a debit card.
Right. And
Yes,
this
it's a
right here,
credit card.
credit card, you get your money back. This right
Yes.
here was,
I'm like,
information about,
no,
okay, amateur radio club, not a problem. Um,
no,
no, this is just not working.
no.
I applaud them, but we got to stay up with the technology.
This is like the house, everybody in the neighborhood, all the houses are nicely, freshly painted. This is a house that's like, it's standing out, it's not painted. The paint is peeling, the roof is, and you're like, no. You just drive past. No. You don't even, no, I don't want to buy that. No.
Your information on your website is like your
It's your
announcement.
house.
It's your announcement to the world. It's where people come to get information about you. This right
The
here
front door.
tells me that you do not keep up with your stuff.
Hmm.
Okay.
So Carlos says,
Internet invented
mhm,
1969. Okay.
mhm.
I know it was 70. Well, that's close to 70 something. I said 74, but 69 is good to know. And publicly, like the public was using it with the graphic interface and stuff, and then it's Netscape
Right.
Navigator and all that. So thank you, Carlos. I know.
Yes. And so now we've evolved where there's imagery and no ugly graphics.
Right.
Okay. Carlos says, all I know is that YouTube released multi-view for March Madness.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay.
Righty tighty.
You ready? I'm ready.
Carlos
He's
says,
ready.
the design workflow. Okay. Okay, TJ, you have it. It's all yours.
Okay, so this week in social media news and updates, let's talk about Snapchat. Snapchat has added new parental controls that block sensitive and suggestive content from viewing by teens. They put this parental control uh feature
Mhm.
on the app last year, and it's in something called Family Center. But today, this says today. But this week they added content filtering capabilities that will allow parents to restrict teens from being exposed to content identified as sensitive or suggestive. Now there was something this week or last week about Pinterest I don't have that included, but I just thought about it. Something about some guy went on Pinterest and put this board up with children, like suggestive
Oh
imagery of
no.
children or something.
Oh,
Okay, that's not a good look.
Right. So this is why, and we've been talking about this about protecting teens and children and everything, and we talked about personally, like if they're under 13, it shouldn't be on. I didn't know that TikTok that you didn't have you could be under 13. I didn't know that. I thought everything was 13. So I found and I put it on my stories. It might be gone by now, but there was an interview with the TikTok CEO. We're gonna get into it. But they asked him questions and he was saying, like, asked him was his children on TikTok, and he said no. And then the interviewer said, well, how old are your children? 8 and 9, 8, 7, 9, something like that. He said, but in America, you can get on TikTok, but I don't let them. But he was kind of caught. Like they caught him. Why your children are not on, but you want our children to be on?
Okay, so
So
this was the TikTok
this
person.
TikTok CEO, yes.
Oh, okay.
I put it on my stories. I don't know if it was still there. I just found it, randomly. If it's not there, I'll put it back.
Okay, but
But
now see.
I didn't know. I thought social media apps the limit was 13. I didn't know the TikTok went down to 9.
Ooh.
Put up Carlos' comment. That's a good one. Carlos says TikTok is educational in China, but made to dumb down in America here, and that is true. TikTok over in China is it's not called TikTok; it's called Douyin or something. It has a different name, and the children are on it, but they get educational stuff. They don't get what the kids get here, which is the dancing, the crazy stuff. Remember that milk crate challenge and dumb things that can harm
the
kids, or
sitting
they don't get
challenge.
any
Yeah.
of that over there. They get educational stuff only.
Well, I found the story.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, TikTok CEO doesn't let his kids use TikTok, even though there's a younger than 13 kids version of the app available.
Yes, he said that. He said, "Oh, there's a younger version." I'm like, I wouldn't put my kids on TikTok, but do you? So here we go. The CEO of the app that you all love out there to dance and point and all that. He doesn't let his kids get on at all. Not even the one that like Carlos says, the one in China where it's educational. They don't even do that. He doesn't do it, but he wants your kids on it. So I just thought that was interesting. I put it on my stories. There's a video of him, and the interviewer caught, like he knew he was caught, like when he said what he said. So take it as you will. So I think Mark Zuckerberg said his kids, or somebody said their kids wasn't on. Mark Zuckerberg. I know Steve Jobs didn't let his kids use the computers, but that was a different age. I just say all of that because there's talk about parental controls, because there's an uproar about what's going on with mental health and teens and everything. So Snapchat has this feature. So you go into the family center, you toggle on restrict sensitive content filter in Snapchat's family center. Once enabled, teens will no longer see the blocked content on stories and Spotlight. Spotlight is the section in Snapchat that's TikTok like, with the videos that scroll through. So it says the text under the toggle specifies that turning on this filter won't have an impact on content shared in chat, snaps, and search. Now, let me explain this, because Snapchat, and I was talking to somebody about this week, that they think Snapchat is not social media. Snapchat is communication. That there's a private section and there's a public section. I think last week I discovered that you have a private profile that you can share. You can put stuff on through the web, like a web link. So you can have a public version, and then you have the private version where you have to be friends with each other. And then within that, you can have private conversations with your friends that is never seen by anybody outside of that friend or friend group. Okay.
Is that really unusual? Because most of these apps have that ability to have that small. network.
Well, Instagram, Snap was the first. Instagram didn't have all of these. Instagram took the stories from Snapchat. Instagram took this and that from Snapchat. Instagram didn't have that. Remember, Instagram when it started out, it was just photo sharing.
Yes.
It's not what it evolved in today is not how it started out. So it is definitely social media. Snapchat is communication, because remember, the people talk about business owners and, well, how do I get into Snapchat? You have to run ads.
Right.
Because it's a private conversation app. They do all, and Carlos says, yeah, it's junk and terrible, because they're able to have private conversations, like having a phone call with,
Well,
and you hear there's stories about drug dealing and this and that on Snapchat, because it can be one to one or one to many, depending. It's levels, and it's like siloed.
So Snapchat is not social. Snapchat is communication.
It's grouped in the social, it's grouped into that, but it's not social in the fact of Facebook and Instagram. You go on and it's one to many.
Right.
A communication tool where you're a business saying, hey, I offer this, I sell plants, and I love to talk about plants. I don't know why. Or in the case of Donna, she's a travel agent. She wants to spread awareness about her business.
Right.
So you don't do that on Snapchat. Snapchat is communication between close groups of friends, one-on-one friends, and nobody outside of that bubble gets to see it. Then they have the stories section, which is everybody on Snapchat gets to see if they're friends with you. Then they took it another step further. They have a public profile where you can put things publicly as a link, because remember, you can get it on the web. So you can use that as, hey, go to my Snapchat, there's a link, and they get to see what you post publicly, as like, because I share stories about the news and stuff. But if I go into Snapchat, the app, I can talk to friends and relatives that are not near me, that if I don't pick up the phone, I can text them if I'm not texting them with the iPhone. See, it's just it's a communication channel that way, but it gets lumped in as social media.
So it's kind of like WhatsApp, where if if you want to call somebody that's out of the country or whatever, you can call them.
And remember, this is 13 to 30.
Yes.
I think I had to, hold on, let me see. Okay, it's 13 to 24, 90% 13 to 24-year-old in other countries. Like, it's not just, it's bigger in other countries than it is in America. But it's not social media as you post something and everybody can potentially see it. It's mostly, let me go in and talk to my friend Susan that, and I want to text her something, or I want to do a Bitmoji. There's lots of little fun things to do in there with the Bitmojis and have a conversation. And it's just you. So that's why the kids use it. It's like a private tool. And nobody sees it unless you're in the group, in the bubble. And kids like to do that. That's, think middle school, high school, they all have a little group, and they so that way the parents don't see it, or it's not Instagram where everybody sees it. And then they have that potential to be bullied or harassed.
So you're in the clique.
But yes, a clique. But they can also use the Snapchat to bully somebody outside of the clique. So that's why I said think high schoolish, that kind of thing. Where there's a conversation. It can work
as a slam book, or it can work as a
and that's the private side of it. It can be positive or negative, but it's that group using it, and then they can decide to make a public Snapchat that people inside of Snapchat can potentially find if they choose to do so. So that's what it really is about. So if you're on the business side of it, think ads, think lenses. You're not going in there to say, hey, kids, I always bring up that Steve Buscemi meme where he's dressed up like the teenager in school, but he's like 60 years old. And the kids are like, what are you doing? I see that you're a 60-year-old man, even though you're dressed like a skateboarder. That's not going to fly. So you're not over there to talk to people because the conversations are private. So they have a section called Spotlight that has the video section like TikTok. Then they have the story section, and then they have the private section, and you can do public, and they got a there's all kind of things in there that's confusing. But if your demo is not this 13 to 34 or 18 to 30, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
But we
that's
got to talk about Snapchat because,
because people need to know.
yes, and also this week I'm very happy about the Snap stock went rising because, and Meta too, because of the TikTok conversation, which we will get to. But that's one of the things about Snapchat is that there, it's not dead. It's just if you're not in that, if you're over 30, you're not going to be in that conversation at all, unless you're a grandparent or a parent talking to your kid because they're there and you want to reach them with the private voice. There's voice messaging, there's texting, all kind of things. So it depends on what your kid is into.
Okay.
If they're into TikTok, then you're going to reach them over there. If they're using Snapchat, and definitely if you're paying for the phone, this is my personal opinion. If I'm paying for the phone, I'm going to be in there. Okay, hold on. I'm getting okay. I gotta pause for a second because I'm getting some text. I gotta do something real quick.
No problem. Okay, so let me go here. Alrighty, daddy. We are on a pause here, but I just wanted to say that earlier today we were talking about some of the situations with STEM, and I'm really excited to know that the Department of Defense is getting um, excited and featuring different people who are in the STEM industry. Terry had to take a break to respond to
Yeah, personal matter.
yeah, personal matter, yes. So I was talking about the fact that the Department of Justice, not Justice, Department of Defense, uh, was featuring these young people.
Right. There's a lot of things that are happening um, in and around. We talked about Microsoft going public back in 1986, but I get another publication called,
Mm-hmm.
is that you, Terry?
Is
Um,
what?
oh no, I just heard
Mm-mm,
something.
no.
Okay. All right. Let me find this article that I was reading from Tech Brew.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so that is really strange. Okay, do you hear that?
Yes, I hear because I am looking at
Okay, because that is coming through loud and clear.
is it?
Mm-hmm.
By flourishing Black businesses.
Are you
Doctors,
playing a video?
lawyers,
I'm playing the video while we're waiting.
dentists.
Okay,
They were
so
all there with
so you
all
probably need to
successful. And I guess that's
close
part
your
of my
mic
dream
and make
is
sure
to
the
be
other
a
one's
success
open
story.
because it's very.
My name is Joseph Simmons.
There we go.
I am the founder of the Center for Micro Entrepreneurial Training. We have this moment in time where we can change the trajectory of people. And our focus is on women, Black and brown entrepreneurs, and their access to capital, their ability to build thriving businesses, the ability to employ people. There's a study that showed that in those three communities, especially Black and brown communities, a dollar stays in those communities for 30 minutes. In white community, a dollar stays in their communities for 8 hours. So think about it. For you in a Black or brown community to get gas, to get food, to go to a restaurant, you've got to leave your community, take those dollars out of that community and take it to another community that's already being well served. So if we can reverse that, if we can go from 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, that's progress. That's what we need to do. I was with SCORE. And then in May of 2020, of course, the events happened in regards to the murder of George Floyd. The other thing that I was experiencing was the denials of federal funds for small businesses. And it revolved around one thing: these businesses were not being prepared for grants and for government programs. And I came up with the idea for the Center for Micro Entrepreneurial based off those two things. Morgan Stanley had a report out in 2020, first quarter, and it talked about there were three groups that were massively devastated by COVID 19 on their business. That was one, women; number two, Black; and number three, brown entrepreneurs. The research showed that they had less cash on hand, they had less opportunity to go into a bank and get money, and they were very dependent on family and friends to keep their business up and running. If we can focus on those three groups, then we can have a dramatic impact on our communities. Really, the focus is on three areas. And those three areas are: one, the people; number two, the courses; and number three, a support network. Here at CMAT, we will provide you with the fundamentals for generational success. And you will be creating a vibrant community by attending our 5-day immersive training course.
Okay.
I wanted to share that for people who are not aware that there are actually resources for funding for your businesses. So you may want to look into that micro business support. Um, Carlos says here, well, here's a historical reference. I'm launching my business, Nexus Media Group, at NAB 15th. I want to redefine the future of content. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Carlos.
Uh,
Okay.
did you is TJ back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, good. All right. Then we'll proceed.
All right. So we were talking about Snapchat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was explaining what all the pieces of Snapchat, because it's, talking about what things you can block and see that your teen sees, like the stories, the spotlight, everything. But remember, there's a private section. I don't think they can block things there. So
Okay.
it's very kind of, like confusing. One of the things they're saying is that the parent has to figure out where to go. And
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying about doing it, it's your phone. I mean, you're paying for the phone. So do you tell your kid, hey, hand it over, let me see your Snapchat and let me see what's going on? That's an ongoing thing.
Right.
So, but they did add the parental controls. You just have to be aware, like we're saying, we talk about it. Be aware of what you can control these things in your kid's phone. Now, if they're over 18, I don't know what you can do, but
They need to be buying their own phone.
exactly. Yeah. If you're paying for the, this is my thought. If I'm paying for the phone, I get to control it. Okay, so that's Snapchat. And here's another and I have to update this. This was from last year. Piper Sandler's did a survey with teens. It said 34% of US teens rank Snapchat as their favorite social media platform. But again, the TikTok thing happening. So I want to check that, because they put it at ahead of TikTok 29%. This was last year. So I want to check that. And matter of fact, I might do a show about that, because there's probably an update to this survey called Taking Stock with Teens. They looked at teens specifically.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at that. All right, so that's Snapchat. Now we got something from LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been very busy.
Oh.
And remember I said that all these platforms was going to integrate AI? Well, here comes LinkedIn.
Uh-oh.
With their AI. They have an AI tool to write better user profiles and job descriptions. So they using the Chat GPT, OpenAI model. It will offer writing suggestions to users and recruiters. So for LinkedIn profiles, a new GPT-4 powered tool will be offered to premium subscribers that create suggestions for what to write in the about and headline section that's on your profile.
Hmm.
The suggested text will be formulated using the most important skills and experiences listed on your profile, but manages to maintain your unique voice and style. You can also edit it before it goes live. So that's for the user. Like you have a profile and you want to make it look the best, you can use the new tools to help you do that. For recruiters, LinkedIn is providing a GP3 3.5, and the reason why I'm going 3.5 and 4 is there's a reason. We're going to get into that. So GPT 3.5 powered job description tool. It requires basic information, including job title, company name, workplace type, job type, location, and then it will generate a job description.
Okay.
And then you can, once it creates the bio or the description or the job or whatever, you can edit it to your liking. So this job description tool will be rolled out before the end of 2023. Right now, it's being tested in English among a limited number of job posters in the U.S., India, UK, Canada, and Australia. Now, remember, this is going to be a part of the paid LinkedIn because there's LinkedIn Premium.
Yes.
That is there a comment?
No, I was just thinking, okay.
I was saying hi to Frazier.
Ah,
He's
Yeah,
tuned
from-
in from yeah.
from
no, I
Scotland.
heard. Like I thought it was Clubhouse or
Oh.
somebody saying something.
No, nobody in Clubhouse saying anything just yet.
Okay.
This is interesting. There's a workaround for that though. If you don't have premium, you
Mhm.
Chat GPT
Right.
on the
You can
outside,
use right. You can use any of the other tools.
right, and still do the
So,
same thing. But if you want to use the tool within LinkedIn,
right.
then you need to be a
And a
premium
lot of people
user.
are already premium users, so this is like, something they can use. They're already
Right.
paying for it.
Oh, okay.
So they're using it.
Extra perk. This is good.
Right. Because there's some advantages to LinkedIn Premium, which we will not get into, but if you got it, this is going to be added in. So LinkedIn putting their little, spin on here's some generative AI for you to use inside of the platform. Because remember, if they stay inside of the app, that
Mhm.
means they can serve more ads and make more money.
Yes.
So, and Fran is right. You can use an outside tool. There are tons. I can't even go over the list. It's like every day my head is spinning from the amount of tools and things that are coming that are using the API from OpenAI to ChatGPT. And I'm going to warn you, like this week and going forward is going to be a lot of talk about Chat GPT and OpenAI and generative AI because we're moving on to Google. So Google, and we brought this up. I said, why didn't Google put their their Bard or whatever they're working on inside of Google Docs, and Google Spreadsheet and all the tools that they have? Well, now they're doing it. So they're adding generative AI to Gmail, Docs, Slides, and more. So they are adding it to their workspace productivity tools. That's Google Docs, Sheets, Slides. There's one missing. Docs, Sheets, and Slides, and there's something else. So you'll be able to use a text box to prompt Google's AI to automatically draft on almost any kind of document or create different kinds of charts for sheet data. Users can highlight text and ask Google AI to edit it for them or rewrite in a different tone and style. You can automatically draft emails or summarize entire email threads in Gmail.
Wow.
Oh, Google Meet. That's another thing. Google Meet, you will be able to generate new virtual backgrounds and automatically create notes of conversations complete with summaries. Here's the quote. In Gmail and Google Docs, you can simply type in a topic you'd like to write about, and a draft will be instantly generated for you. Whether you're a busy HR professional who needs to create customized job descriptions, or a parent drafting the invitation, the invitation to your child's pirate-themed birthday party, Workspace saves you the time and effort of writing that first version.
Now, my question is that free for the regular Gmail people, or do you need to
Well,
have?
it says workspace, so I'm not sure. I know there's a paid workspace,
Okay,
but it doesn't say.
interesting. I guess we'll find out when we go
Very.
in there and start playing around.
Yeah, we have to look at it, and I think they're testing it, so it's not available to like. It's not like everybody go there and use it now. I think it's testing with a small amount of people, and I didn't put that part of the story in there.
Okay.
Um, but that's what's going on. So speaking of that, let me switch over to Microsoft. Let me go down to Microsoft. I should put these together. I have to reorganize this. I don't have to scroll through. Where's my Microsoft stuff? Okay. So Microsoft has something called Copilot, which is similar to what Google just did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's inside of Microsoft 365 apps, designed to assist people with generating documents, email, presentation, and more. It's called Copilot, powered by GPT-4 from OpenAI, and it's going to be in the sidebar as a chatbot that allows Office users to summon it to generate text and documents, create PowerPoint presentations based on Word documents, or even help use features like pivot tables in Excel. Here's the quote. It works alongside you, embedded in the apps millions of people use every day. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more. Copilot is a whole new way of working.
Hmm.
So if you have Microsoft Teams, it will come through there. If you have Microsoft Apps, it will come through there. They're also planning to launch something called Business Chat, a business chat feature. It works across all Microsoft 365 data and apps. It uses the Microsoft Graph to bring together documents, presentations, email, notes, and context into a single chat interface in Microsoft Teams that can generate summaries, planning, overviews, and more. Microsoft is testing Microsoft 365 Copilot with 20 customers. I'm thinking that is uh enterprise, like corporations,
Mm-hmm.
because 20 customers, that's like, okay, probably enterprise level that they're using. Okay, so that's Microsoft. So Google has theirs, Microsoft comes out with theirs. You're going to see this a lot. Microsoft is going to do something, Google's going to do something. It's like going to be like a tennis match back and forth. Another thing about GPT-4 that, yeah, let me go back up. No, I'll mention it because I don't want to scroll all the way back down. So Microsoft, no, I have to talk about this later because you don't know what I'm talking about. So let's go back up to OpenAI. We're going to talk about them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
OpenAI released GPT-4. And if you follow me on my stories on Instagram, I put this up this week already. I think it came out Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday. I forgot when the announcement was made. They had a live stream and everything. So OpenAI has released GPT-4, which is the new version of their Chat GPT. The version before it that we were using was either GPT 3 or 3.5. And that
Okay.
just means that, 3.5 is better than 3 because they rewrote the code to do certain things, because based on the way that's been using, because it is in beta, you are
Mm-hmm.
beta tested when you use it, and they're looking at how we are using it. So now they moved from 3.5, they moved up to version 4. So now we're
Okay.
using GPT-4 and Chat GPT. Now, what is the big deal? What is the big deal with this new version of this generative AI software? So it can solve difficult problems with greater accuracy thanks to its broader general knowledge and problem solving abilities. That comes from us using it. So it's learning.
Okay.
It learns every time you put in a prompt or you ask it something, it is learning. It is gathering and learning our ways of doing things.
Habits. Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, so what's good about this is that, and I put it in my stories. Let me see if I can pull it up because I didn't put it here. And let me bring that up real quick.
So every time we use it, it grows
Yeah.
knowledge and it tracks the common questions so that it can, yeah,
Right. So
aggregate more
okay, so
information.
here's what's going on. So it's going to GPT-4 can accept images as input and generate captions, classification
Oh,
and analysis. So instead of you typing what
uh-huh.
you wanted to give you the output, you can put up a picture that represents what you want and it will give you the answer. So the example was it was a picture of eggs, flour, and milk, and it says, "What can I make with these ingredients?" And then it output a recipe because it knew that it was a picture of food items and
The
it knew
other,
what each item was.
yeah, the other thing is that it's really going to be good for helping to describe images online. You know how you have
Yes, for
when
all
you
text
mouse
for the
over them?
government. Yes, all that's called alt text,
Yes,
and
the
the
alt
government
text.
has required that for years,
Correct.
but websites have not kept up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also do it on Instagram. You can do alt text on Instagram, and there's a law. I forgot what law it was because it was a big deal when I was working at EPA.
Yeah, the Disabilities Act. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was like a name or number to
Mm-hmm.
it. There was something to it for
And you,
websites. I'm talking about for websites.
yes, and you
And
were required to do that.
yes, we were required, and it was like a big deal. And we had to do
Mm-hmm.
all of our EPA websites.
Accessibility. Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was a big deal, and this was like way back,
Mm-hmm.
going like 2000 or something, like
Mm-hmm.
even before maybe 1999 or something like that. But it was a big deal, and the government, all the government websites had to be compliant with this. And it was a
Okay.
number like each of the something, but it came from the Disabilities Act, but it was called something that, and I remember the phrase, I can't remember it
Yes.
now, but it was something that it was ingrained in me because like, oh, it's got to be compliant. So that was the government was required, and if you were a smart website owner, you did it back then. But now a lot of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So people with visual impairment and stuff, when they go to a website or something and it's full of images, they don't get anything because there's no text to read because they use text readers. So this is a part of it. So it definitely will help with that. Um, Also, GPT-4 is capable of handling over 25,000 words of text, allowing for use cases like long form content creation, extended conversations, and document search and analysis. Because there was a limit before with 3.5 that it only took so much. It only
Uh-huh.
allowed you to type in so much text for a prompt to get what
Okay.
you wanted. So now they've increased that. So that's some of the things. This was a big deal. People was like, "Oh, ChatGPT, blah 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 blah." Now, the thing about the upgrades in GPT-4 is if you're using Chat GPT, it's not in the free version. You have to buy the plus version, which is the $20 a month version. So it's not available if you're using the free version. That was one of the people think that people were like, "Oh, that's not good." So to get this GPT-4, one, you have to have the paid version, or two, you can get on the wait list for the free version. Who knows when you'll get onto that? Um, and then there was another thing I put in the story is like contribute to the OpenAI eval. I think that has to do with the API or something. So also this the image recognition part of GPT-4 is not available yet. The one that I described about you put up a picture of food items and you know it describes it or gives you a recipe or whatever you ask. That image upload part of it is not ready yet. It's not ready on any level. I think even the paid people don't get that. So right now it's still text only inputs, but um it's going to be image upload. What do you think of that? So that was the big news as far as OpenAI and GPT was we're on the new version of 4 for GPT. Okay. Um and adding on to that, why I wanted to jump from Microsoft is that Microsoft Bing has been using Chat GPT 4 for 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
We did not know that. Microsoft knew Bing was using GPT-4 all along.
Oh,
Now, why did Microsoft have access 5 months ago? Because Microsoft is paying for OpenAI. They gave them, what was it, 10 billion, 11 billion dollars or something. Well, yeah, they're gonna get it first. So here's their quote: "We are happy to confirm that the new Bing is running on GPT-4, which we customized for search. If you've used a new Bing preview at any time in the last 5 weeks, you've already experienced an early version of this powerful model." So it was 5 weeks that we've been using, but they've had it before. They just enabled it for the last month and a half.
wow.
So they weren't using 3.5, they were using 4 for the last month and a half in the new Bing beta. I think, is it still Bing beta? Is it still a waitlist? I'm not sure because I wasn't happy
Well,
with Bing. One thing I will say, to update, I did accidentally, because I have an Android. So I accidentally went into the Android and tapped something and Bing popped up and I was like, ah. So I was like, okay, let me test it again and see what happens. So now, remember I said it gave you 6 chances and then it cut you off? Now it's up to 15. So you can ask it 15 questions within that session and then it will cut you off.
okay. Because people
So
was probably getting like, what?
yeah, because after when you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it was like, bye, sweep this conversation and start a new one. I'm like, no, I
want to know more. I need to dig
and then
deeper.
here's another thing about Bing, which I don't like. I had a real, when I tested out the 15 levels, the 15 questions, I had something going really good. I was like, oh, I can't wait to copy this and package it and do and edit it. There's no way to copy it.
See, that right there is the issue.
So I Googled this and it is a problem. But there's an extension you can use in Chrome or something, or whatever. And I was like, you know what, Bing? This is why I don't like you. I had a whole list, 15. I had something with podcasts and this and that. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to use this and formulate it and rework it. And, it's giving me ideas. Let me copy it. And it was like, okay, there's no, and then it was 15 things. I could copy one at a time. But something happened and I lost the whole thing. So, in Chat GPT, it saves it. It's saved. You can go back and go, it's there. Bing does not do that.
Yeah, because everything that I've ever searched in Chat GPT
is
still there. And I'm on the free version.
On the free version, yes.
It's still there.
So Chat GPT was like, we got you. Because when it went, I think it was like last week, they cleared it for some reason. Something they were doing an update and everybody's history disappeared. And people were panicking like crazy. Like, I had it, but it's back now. They put it back. They didn't erase it or delete it. But Bing, I was like, okay, Bing, I went through this thing with you. I got my 15 steps, my 15 questions. I'm good to go. I got something I want to work with. And I didn't copy it and it's gone. And I was trying to remember the questions that I asked.
And see,
so
that's
Bing
not
save.
That's not cool right there.
Yeah, Bing did not save yet. I don't know when they're gonna save but I'm like, listen, this is the part that I don't like.
Right. That is an issue.
And I set Bing to whatever the default thing, because it's an Android. I set the default browser or whatever to Bing so I could get on the list, and now I got to remove it because I was like, I'm accidentally went in and did something. I'm like, I'm mad with you, Bing. I don't like you.
Bing is not
my rant about
Bing.
Because once you start using this tool, it's like the world is opening up. It's like a door and you just go in and you like, let me ask it this, let me ask it that. And then it generates creatively, it generates creative ideas in you. I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels about it. It's just, that's how it's working for me. Because I know a lot of people online, I've seen the conversation, they're going, I don't see what the big deal is. I didn't get anything out of it. It was generic robotic. Yes, if you ask generic robotic questions. But if you go in and you go, you write the correct prompt, give me this, and we talked a little bit about it on Tuesday about finding your voice. Once you get that prompt together where you know what to ask it, you're going to get great stuff. It's going to say things, and then I go, okay, I like that phrase. Let me take that phrase, start a new chat, and work on that. It's like threads. If you get my meaning, it's like threads.
This is real good. Chat GPT is really, really good. And it really works well.
Yes.
You need the name of, possible names for a new business, possible names for your podcast, and you get all these ideas, and then you
Right.
can go like, well, I think I'll take that piece and mix it.
Yes,
with
and put it's like puzzle. It's like pieces of a puzzle, and you take that piece and that piece and that piece. You can come back to a chat and keep going. It will keep talking. You can stop like something from last week or last month. You can go back in and say, "Well, I have an idea. Let me ask it to give me this."
Right.
And you go in and it gives it to you, and you put these pieces together and you make something great. That's what's happening, but you have to you have to see the vision of it. So
Right.
that's how Chat GPT works. There's other tools that have it, Jasper AI, Copy AI, Word. Here the list is long. I even ran across something today, and I have to investigate, where somebody said they went to Chat GPT and told it to make a business that they started out with $100, but it needs to generate like 100,000, and the thing did it.
And gave them a plan.
It did it. The whole shebang. I have to
Wow.
investigate it. I saw it on Instagram, so I have to go back and see. But he just wrote a prompt. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring it up real quick since I'm talking about it. It says
So
we're not going to do media, right? Because Tachi's not here.
that's correct. We have some time.
Okay, so let me bring this up real quick. I hope I saved it. Let me do a search. I think it was. I saved it. I think I saved it.
We are living in exciting times.
It's exciting as far as okay. So here's the deal. Before ChatGPT or Chat OpenAI and all the stuff that they open up to the public, when you had an idea for a business, how did you develop it? It was difficult, right?
It was very difficult. You spent hours. What is it? Trying to write your what is it? The
mission statement, the
marketing statement, and
I
all
need
of
a
that
business
stuff.
plan to take to a bank for a loan. Guess what? You would pay somebody to do that, or you can do that in ChatGPT. You can ask it to do that. I want a business loan because I have a business idea about blah blah blah. Write me a business plan and I can take to the bank, and they would give me $100,000, whatever it is. That's your prompt. That's what you type in, and it says sure, blah blah, and it starts spitting it out, and you're just happy as a clam. It's like a money making machine.
You're like, whoa! So you just got your assistant. You have a digital assistant that is writing for you, where you don't have to sit down there and bang your head up against the wall trying to come up with that.
Yes. Okay, I found it. Let me read. Okay, what he said. I gave GPT for a budget of $100 and told it to make as much money as possible. He didn't even. I said 100,000. He didn't even like limited that. He said make as much money as possible. I'm acting as this human liaison, buying anything it says to, and then it spits out a whole like what it told him what to do. Set up an affiliate marketing site making content around eco-friendly, sustainable living products. It suggested a .com. It told them what to do. It gave them brand ideas for the logo. It gave them the prompt to go to Midjourney to put the prompt in to get the logo for the business. So he reworked it, and he came out with a whole thing. his first piece of content, 10 must have eco-friendly kitchen gadgets for sustainable cooking. And it made the imagery, it made the cover, it made the logo, it came out with the color scheme, everything. And all he did was ask it to, now what did he ask it? Hold on, let me see. He said, what did he say? You have $100 and your only goal is to turn that into as much money as possible in the shortest time possible without doing anything illegal. I will, and then he went into it and it spit out. So I'm like, uh-oh, I'm gonna be busy for the rest of the week. It's that kind of thing for me.
So there's no reason why you can't come up with a job idea or a business idea.
There are videos and things on YouTube. YouTube has gone OpenAI ChatGPT plus 4 whatever crazy.
Right.
It just exploded with it, and the ideas galore. I mean, there's not an idea that you throw at ChatGPT or even I'll say GPT-4 that it will not give you an answer. So I'm going back to the point of I want to start a business. You have a burning desire to start a business and you have the germ of the idea. You don't need to know anything but the idea. I want to start an eco-friendly whatever this thing came up with. And that's all. And he didn't even type that. He said, here's $100, give me some ideas. And it gave him that idea. And if he didn't like the eco-friendly kitchen thing, he could have said, I don't like that, give me another. Chat GPT goes, sure, here's another. It keeps going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It's not breaking down yet. It's learning, and this is where we are. So the thing is, take advantage of the free one. If you don't want to use ChatGPT, Canva's amazing. Canva has it. But what I'm saying is get started. I don't have the knowledge. I don't know where to start. Where you start is with this tool. And you say, I want blank.
This is like Star Trek. Computer, get me da 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 da.
You know Harry Potter? You remember the Harry Potter movie? What did he have, a wand and he said something and flicked it? That's what this is. I can't explain it any simpler than that. That's what this is. You give it a command, you flick the thing, and it gives it to you. It goes bloop. Here it is. And then you can say, well, I don't like that. Let me rework it, or let me ask it. Let me approach it another way. And let me ask that and put those two pieces together. Like Fran and I was just saying about the pieces that you take. It depends on how you work it. What you get out of it, the output is what you put in. So if you put in basic stuff, you're going to get basic stuff.
Basic stuff out. But if you sit down and take the time to formulate your request, you're going to get a deeper, meaningful request.
Yes. Okay. And I bring all this up. I'm spending a lot of time on it because if you get in the Discord, when I'm ready to release this, I don't even know what I'm releasing. But I'm just saying, get in the Discord, follow me online. I'm going to say, hey, guys, you want to do blah, blah, blah. We got the formula here. We got the steps here. Just come on over, blah, blah, blah. I'm still formulating the words and the process, but I have an idea of what I want to do. So this is what I'm saying. And if you have an idea about, well, always wanted to start a business around this, or I want to start a business, what do I do? This gives you the answer, but you have to know how to drive it. We're going to have the driving manual. You know how when you get a new car and they're like, well, I don't know how to drive it. And then you got to go get your license and you got to study that driver's manual. Well, I'm going to have the driver's manual. So, and I'm not saying I'm not the only one that has it. It's already out there. But what I'm saying to you is that it is confusing. You can go down the wrong path. You don't know what to ask it. All those things. That's what I see. I see that people are going, when you give somebody 31 flavors, they're not going to make a choice because it's overwhelming and they're going to choose vanilla because there's too many choices. So I'm going to get rid of all of that.
Right.
So follow me in the Discord, follow me online. That's the little thing I got. And there's more. What you think that ChatGPT or GPT-4 can do, much more. Trust. much more. So we're gonna get into it. All right, so let's get back to there's a few more stories besides this, chat GPT. Let's talk about Twitter. Um always make that face when Twitter comes up. So Twitter has added something called tweet bookmark count to your tweets. So you know how it says the number of retweets, the number of quotes, the number of likes? Now it says the number of bookmarks, which means how many people saved your tweet. And do we care? No. Twitter also went down again this week, I believe. I did not pay attention. All right. Instagram, let's get rid of these a couple well, Instagram didn't really do anything this week. Oh, Meta is shelving the social audio. Remember that 2 years ago they were going to put social audio, they're going to put an audio component into your pages, your groups, and things like that, and they were testing it. I think Gary Vee was testing it, and some other big people, people with big followings. Well, they're not going to continue that. So they are not going to continue with audio channels and groups and pages. And
Okay.
members will no longer be able to create new audio channels and groups.
Okay, wait. This is who?
Meta, Facebook.
We
You
were
remember? You remember
yes,
Facebook?
but we never got a chance to use them
Because
because
it was always in test mode. It was never released. It was
we
in
never
test
got it.
mode. It was in test
Wow.
mode. Because remember, in 2021, and I remember Zuckerberg went to Clubhouse, and they were like, "Ooh, they're gonna put something like this in Facebook," and they had a test, and they called. I think even did Eileen? I think Eileen had it. Eileen Smith had it.
Yeah, she was one of the worthy ones that was able to get audio.
So it was in test. It was always in test mode. This was never released. It was always in test mode. They're dropping it completely. They're dropping it completely. So they're canceling this project. They're canceling a bunch of projects, and they're laying off another 10,000 people because they are not making. They are losing money. So all of these experiments and tests and things like this audio room that they're like, we're getting rid of all that. So that's where the cuts are coming from. The cuts are coming from that. So look for other things that Meta is testing, or they're dropping it. Everything's being dropped.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what's going on with them. And let's go to TikTok. Whoo, hold on for TikTok. Now I'm gonna give you I don't know, I guess they're calling this good. So TikTok is enabling you to start over in the app by refreshing your algorithmic recommendations. So there's an option that enables you to start your TikTok feed afresh. This is what the quote is in the story. So if you don't like what's being recommended to you, say you went off on a tangent, I'll give you an example. I mean, I like it, but just say I didn't want these kind of videos. The last time I was there, I saw the lady with the squirrel. They had rescued a squirrel when it was a baby, and they dressed the squirrel up, and they did things with the squirrel, and and I was like, what? So maybe I don't want to see that anymore because it's still coming in my feed and other videos like it.
Okay.
I can now refresh my TikTok and say, I want to refresh everything that I liked before that you're showing me. I want to start new. So they're putting this in so you can refresh your feed. You can avoid repetition of videos, exposure to harmful things, bullying, with teenagers, it was cutting and other weight things and anorexia. So they can clear if you're getting that. It's like clearing the chalkboard, the whiteboard with the
Erasing it all.
yeah.
Erasing
That's
it.
what you can do. So they're testing this new process that enables users to start their account over again by resetting what the algorithm thinks they might be interested in. Because remember, if you like something or you look at something, say the full video, that's a touch point to TikTok and other places that if the more time you spend on something, that means that you like it. So they're doing this yeah. So why is it coming up? All right, so here's the quote. On TikTok, For You feeds help people. And For You, the For You feed is the main feed when you go into the app. It's called For You. The For You feeds help people discover a diversity of content creators, communities, and products. But we also understand that there are times when people's recommendations don't feel relevant anymore or provide enough topical variety. So we're rolling out a way to refresh the For You feed recommendations if they no longer feel like they're for you. When enabled, this feature allows someone to view content on their For You feed as if they just signed up for TikTok. Our recommendation system will then begin to surface more content based on new interactions. So, what do we think of that?
They just trying to do anything they can to keep us from deleting the
Yes,
app.
yes, and that leads into the next story. TikTok is considering splitting from ByteDance if the deal with the U.S. fails. That was the headline. I wanted to read that. So what's going on? We've been talking about Congress and the what is it? CFIUS, which is the Committee on Foreign Investigations in the U.S. Different fractions within the government are coming up with bills and things and saying that TikTok needs to be banned. They want President Biden to ban it. They want him to. It's coming from everywhere. There's like things coming from everywhere. It's not just one thing. It's coming from different places. The Commerce Department is thinking of something because it's any app that's a foreign entity owned or something. And realize, I've seen a lot of people talk about Facebook. Well, Facebook is banned in China. There's no Facebook in China. So I don't understand what the big outrage that we're getting ready to ban something from China. What's the big deal? I mean, I know why, but I'm like, okay, this is not a right. This is not in the Constitution. So what's going on is that they're asking that TikTok is sold from ByteDance. They wanted to separate from the Chinese owners, demanding the sale through the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. That's a last resort thing. After if they don't ban it, they might do that, and it gets confusing.
But don't they already have our information though?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's confusing. This is going to take us a lot of impact, but I want to give you I want to lay out this latest thing. So TikTok is discussing the possibility of separating from ByteDance Ltd, its Chinese parent company, to help address concerns about national security risks. This is a divestiture, which could result in a sale or initial public offering, is considered a last resort to be pursued only if the company's existing proposal with national security officials doesn't get approved. Now, a divestiture or sale would require China approval. There also has to be a U.S. buyer. Those are two things that, okay, think about those two things. China has to approve the sale. There has to be a U.S. buyer. So let's hold on to two of those things. Now remember, so TikTok is under scrutiny because there's concern about manipulating or spying by China on Americans. Remember that there was a story last year about something came out about TikTok and a journalist wrote it, and then TikTok went after the journalist. They like spied on that group of journalists. Did anybody remember that? This was last year. So they're going to remember that? The government is going to look in that. There's an investigation into that.
Right, because I think it was Forbes. I think it was a Forbes editor, Forbes journalist.
So hold on to that piece.
Okay.
Remember, the UK has they told TikTok told the UK we are looking at you if you use the app. The UK government is looking at banning TikTok use, just like over here they're banning use on government devices. Several states have state government bans. They also have some bans with state universities. TikTok, the kids can't use it at certain universities, certain states. There's something else I'm trying to remember. So in the midst of all this, TikTok is undergoing a national security review by the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States since last year. There's been talks going back and forth. Well, there's a whole bunch of ingredients in this soup. So out of that talks and investigations, because the CEO is coming up next week, Thursday, in front of Congress. So there'll be more. We're going to have more ingredients next Friday. TikTok brought up during these talks with the government that they want to have something called Project Texas. This proposal says bring in American tech Oracle company to host U.S. data and review its software. Also appoint a 3-person government-approved oversight board over that process. Now that is in talks. That's what TikTok wants. The government is talking to them. They were kind of in approval of that last year, but now that all the other stuff came out, remember the FBI director said it should be banned, and he had some reasons. There was a whistleblower I talked about last week that said some things. All of those things are in the mix. All of those things are in the mix. So now there was this project where it's going to be U.S. data, but now all of that is in the air. Throw in, remember last month that we had the spying balloons that they shot down? Throw that in the mix. So you have a lot of things going on. So the Justice Department doesn't want to accept this Project Texas, which they were talking to another government agency. So the thing about this story is that about breaking off from ByteDance, like selling it from China, that would be a last resort. And remember, China has to approve it. There has to be a U.S. buyer. Those two things are not in play. So now throw in the Biden administration has warned TikTok that they want to spin it off or face a ban. So that's another part of this. Now, ByteDance was valued at $220 billion in a recent transaction. TikTok's U.S. business could be worth 40 to 50 billion. So somebody, again, some U.S. has to buy it, a company, and it's worth 40 billion. Who has the money? Who has the money to buy it? Will China release it?
Elon.
Elon don't want it. Elon don't got no money.
He spent it on Twitter.
So, okay, that's a whole thing over there.
Okay, so that's all in the mix. Now let's talk about it.
This is going to be an issue because $40 to $50 billion, and then you're going to have to go in there and revamp the technology so that you make sure that you got all of China's tentacles out of it.
Yes, that's another. Thank you for bringing that up. They could say Microsoft buys it. Microsoft could buy it, but in that code is still the back door for China. So it doesn't matter. They're not going to tell you that. You're not going to see that in the news. I know, because I know tech side. There's code that's injected in the underside. This is what the whole underscore thing has been happening, which I haven't heard anybody say on the news, which I'm glad they haven't. This is what the deal is, that there is some code in there, in this algorithm, that allows China to peek in if they want to. It's in there. So if they sell it, it's like when you get a new laptop and you have a backup of the old one, but you had a virus and you didn't clean it, and you put this new image on the new laptop, and you're thinking, I got a new laptop. It's clean as a whistle. It's got the virus because you copied the files over. That's what this is.
Right.
You're not going to hear that, but I'm pretty sure the government knows that. So
yes. Yeah.
Where are we? Then put the political implications on top of this. They're talking about they want Biden to ban it because then that angers the under 30s, and then they won't vote for him because there's an election coming up. 2024. Think about it. So all of those things are in the mix.
So what my solution is for me to look at it for myself. okay, I don't need it that much in order for me to do what I need to do. It's
Right.
not worth the hassle.
Right.
It's not worth the security risk. And
That's
maybe
the
one day
that's
is
the over that's the over 30 crowd thinking. The
Mhm.
under 30 crowd, the influencers who are making a lot of money off of TikTok, they ain't having that.
Right, but then they don't. But then stuff happens later on where they got your stuff,
They
your
don't
data.
care. This
Yeah, I know.
generation does not care. There used to be a time in America when we wouldn't China spying on us. China, that was a big deal. Now they don't care. The under 30s don't care
Because they don't.
because they are addicted to this app.
Yeah.
So there, I heard some other talk. I was brought up about the Snapchat and the Meta stock price being, things looking good for the stock price because there's talk more as we inch more talking about TikTok not existing. Those kids have to go somewhere. They're not going to put the phone down and go outside and play. They're going to go to another app. It could be Snapchat. It could be Meta, which is Instagram. They're not going to Facebook.
No.
So where do they go? A TikTok-like environment. Who has that? Instagram has Reels. Snapchat has Spotlight, and they have it's not TikTok exactly, but it's good enough. So they may go to those two places, which is why they had a good week this week on stock market.
Or YouTube Shorts.
Or yes, I forgot about yes, thank you. YouTube Shorts. That's another place they could go. But they're not gonna put the phone down and go outside and play or whatever the things that the older people are telling these kids to do. They're not gonna do that because they are addicted to using that app and they're gonna want to go somewhere else and use a similar feel to it.
Right.
So
I
this
don't
is
think
the thing.
it's any different than boomers and TV. Go outside. You're going to ruin your eyes.
So this is the thing with, and that's why I'm like, next week is going to be really interesting because they get to talk to the TikTok CEO. And then this thing is, it's like we're putting little pieces together. I don't know if there's going to be a ban this year. I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be a ban. And I hate that they're using that word ban. It won't be a ban. It just won't be available in the App Store. They'll tell Google and they'll tell Apple to take it out of the store.
And you go in there to update your app, and it won't be there.
Who did we talk about? Was it Fortnite we talked about? You go there, it's not there. That's what they do.
And there's 100 million people in America alone using that app. Is that correct?
TikTok or?
Yes, TikTok.
I had a stat. Hold on, let me see.
Right.
Oh no, it was how much time they spent a day on TikTok? 56 minutes, more than any other app. Now the percentage that use it, I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But I've heard people say it's not going to happen. That's a possibility. There's a 50-50 chance. But I'm saying as the year progresses, as this situation where they're talking to this agency and that agency and the Justice Department and the FBI, and then the guys coming to Congress and people are doing this and that, and then there's other things. It's an interesting mix that I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna just watch, get my popcorn and watch, because every week there's something happening, and it's not going to disappear this year. I don't think it's going anywhere this year.
Okay, TikTok has nearly 30.19 million monthly active users.
That's a lot.
On the Android.
That's just one operating system.
The number of daily active users is 15.4 million TikTok Android users.
And there are 113.3 million active TikTok users age 18 and above as of January 2023.
Okay.
Based on the advertising audience reach numbers published in TikTok.
Right. And in America, there's about 330 million people total. Now, think about TikTok in other countries and add on to that. So think about how many people using TikTok. But the ban would just be here. Now, remember, I've heard people brought this up. I was like, thank you for bringing it up. India banned TikTok 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were big users, and they had a lot of influencers that was making money on that and using it, and they all were sad and upset. But what happened? India said, we don't care. That app is not going to be available to anybody in this country.
And they did it.
And it's not. And it's not. Now, remember, I said China has to approve the sale if it goes that way, and somebody has to buy it, and it's worth $50 billion. Who's going to buy it? Elon doesn't have any money. He's broke because he bought Twitter with the Saudis. So he doesn't have any money. So Elon's out. Microsoft has money. Do they want it?
Do you think the government would buy it?
No. No. Government's not buying this thing.
I mean, just to be able to control it?
No, because they don't even know how to control.
100%.
We know they don't know how. They just
the government doesn't buy things like that. That's not no.
They wouldn't buy it.
They buy it and shut it down.
But not buy it and shut it down.
You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it to shut it down. That's what we're talking about. You don't have to buy it.
Turn it off. Yeah. Okay.
Right. You don't have to buy it. All the financial thing, the justice, the FBI, all it is take one or a combination and say this thing is a danger. It's a national security threat, and it gets shut down. We don't have to buy it.
Right. And to make them feel better about it. No, what's going to happen is nobody technically has to buy it. It's on them to find a buyer.
Right. Now they were saying Oracle could buy it, but that's a conflict of interest because I forgot what it was, but it was something about the way that they benefit from it, that something about China, so they would be beholden to China versus us. So Oracle can't buy it. And remember, there's a 3-person oversight board with Oracle. So Oracle's not going to buy it. Only entity is Apple. I forgot about Apple. Apple has lots of cash.
Apple ain't buying it.
Apple's not buying it. But Apple has the cash to buy it. I'm talking about who has the cash to buy it.
Yes, the cash fund. Now, they said Walmart was in the running.
Before, with Trump.
Before. Yeah, but I don't know if they want it because, see, you're going to have to.
They want it.
It's still going to be an issue. You're going to have to dismantle it to make sure that code is not in there.
But the other part of that, China has to agree. China has to agree. 1, 2.
Okay, so here's the deal. Anybody feel like doing all that extracurricular stuff? We got to get your permission for you to buy.
China has to agree. That's based on how they operate.
Take it out of the App Store. Take it out. Just take it out the store.
China agrees. Ain't happening.
No, that's what I'm saying. They not agreeing.
That's dead.
Just take it out of the store. Take it out of both.
That
stores.
Taking it out of the store is the process we're in now. It has to go through this government process, and Terralina can tell you the government process takes a long time. So that's why nothing will happen this year.
That's
my opinion, right?
Right, and Apple's
not buying it. Apple has the money. Apple has cash. They're not buying it. They don't want it. They don't need it. Walmart, I don't see. They might have the cash, but again, why would I want to buy it? It would have to be a benefit. There's no benefit. Microsoft could buy it because they want to get in the social media game. They might, but that's a big, strong might, and then China has to agree.
I can't. I
things have to happen.
I don't see where there's anybody that would step into that, because that's almost like what Elon did with Twitter. You're going in there buying something that's already broke it, and you're buying it, and there's no upside to this.
Right. The downside is China has agreed, and do you want to get on the wrong side of China? Because Microsoft does business with China. So here you go. This is what I'm saying, that it's going to be on the government side. It will not be a ban from President Biden because that's political suicide. It will be removed from the store on the advice of the, what is this? This long thing. What is this? CFISU, which is the Committee on Foreign Investment. It could be the Justice Department. It could be FBI, it could be CIA, one of those things. And we might not know because FBI and CIA, those are secret things. So we'll never know. So where are we with TikTok? We don't know yet. It's 50-50. I'm waiting on the CEO to talk to next week to Congress, and we're going to see what grilling they put him through. That'll be on TV. So
On C-SPAN?
it should. Didn't they put Zuckerberg on?
Yeah, they did, but yeah, I was trying to remember what channel because CSNBC
Well,
might
it
have
won't
been
be
running
on
it.
C-SPAN. It might be on CNBC. It might be on MSNBC. It might be on I'm not sure. Whatever they decide, if that's worthy TV for their audience. So, but it'll be somewhere. There'll be a wrap up. There'll be journalists writing about it, and we could read their opinion. But there's lots of things going on. So I hear, people saying, "Oh, there's never going to be a ban on TikTok because it's too big to fail." I'm like, what?
Look,
What?
MySpace.
Why is this attitude of their old TikTok? Like the government better not do it because blah blah blah. Freedom of speech, I hear freedom of this and that. I'm like, none of those things have to do with this app because it's Chinese owned.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean that's just my thoughts on it. What do you guys think?
I don't think this is going to last. I don't know how long it'll have, but because they just came on the scene not too long ago.
Right. It was remember it was Musically for a while, and then ByteDance bought them. So I don't know. It's too early to call the game. This is like we're not even at halftime. Think about football. This is not even halftime yet. We're still in the beginning quarter. So like maybe the end of the first quarter. That's where I feel like we're at. And we're just gonna watch it.
We'll wait and see.
Right. And I just got a feeling that is the Biden will not come out and he won't do what 45 did and come out and say he's not going to do that because that's like that you're inviting that group to throw tomatoes at you and get mad and withhold their vote and all the things that they're murmuring now. Oh, this is political, suicide, and the under 30s is going to be mad with the Democrats and that. So all of that talk is undercurrent with what's going on. So, and we've said if you want to use TikTok, go right ahead. Just be careful of, get a second phone, a burner phone, or something that doesn't have your financial or any kind of personal information, and use it like that. But
yeah, see, yeah, and then WhatsApp is I know Meta owns WhatsApp or whatever, but you still had concerns about that when the thing is just on your phone and it's still doing stuff and you're not even using it.
Yeah, and it's not even there's a lot of app and Apple has tried to get rid of some of that with the app not to track but some of those things I'm like one app that you just install you never open, it can do things to your phone. Just think about that process of when you put something on your phone, because on my phone I have financial stuff. I have apps that go to my banking and my this and that. I'm like every time I open it, I'm thinking, well, what is there another app in the background trying to spy on my, you don't want that. That's what we don't want that. But from the stories that I've read, and they've done interviews with TikTokers and the things they've said, like they're owed. That's how I'll make my money like that. That's how I make my living. Well, you're not owed that. That's just a process of social media and the things we have. You're not owed TikTok. If TikTok is not owed to you, you can go somewhere else and do the same thing that you're doing on TikTok if you're using it to make money or sponsorship deals or brand deals or whatever you're using to get income. Those things can be done on another app. TikTok is not owed to you. It's like they think that you could possibly get rid of it. They can. I don't know if they will, but they can. It's there. It's on the table. So Those are some of the things that's going on. Another argument they bring up is that Facebook tracks you. Instagram tracks you. Pinterest and all these other, any app you have tracks you. Yes, they do. Those are all U.S. owned companies, and they can be called to the carpet by our government. You saw what they did to Zuckerberg. They did it to somebody else. They did it to. They called
Google.
Can you call ByteDance in front of the government? No, because where is ByteDance?
By invitation only, and they can decline to come.
Well, it's China. They're not coming over here. And the guy that's talking next week, the CEO, that's the American side. That's not the Chinese side. That's not ByteDance. It's TikTok. So things to think about. That's why I'm bringing it here. I hear people telling, when I say these things, people go, "Oh, they're not going to ban TikTok. That's ridiculous." And I just go, I don't say nothing because I'm like, time will tell.
So this is a good reason for security, that if you have apps on your phone that you're not using, get them off, because you don't know, what obsolete apps, you put it on there, you haven't used it, it's the spring,
get rid of it.
Do some spring cleaning.
Right. And I find it funny that a lot of parents and old adults who have children are mad. The kids are on TikTok, but when it's time to ban it, you got another story. No, you should be happy. And that's that. That's this week in social media news and update.
Thank you, TJ. This has been very, very, very informative today. So we just want to say thank you all for tuning in here live and on the replay on Clubhouse, wherever you are watching us from. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with the BizChicks, and we thank you so very much. Enjoy your week. Go play with your tech. You find something that is working for you. We like to hear about it because we want to hear what's working for you. And if you're having challenges with your tech, bring those questions and things too, because we want to be able to help you take the hassle out of your tech hustle.
Yes.
So with that, I'm going to TJ and Terry, any final comments or anything?
Follow me online, Terry Johnson online. Go to terryjohnsononline.com/info. Get in the Discord because things are coming and you want to be in. And especially if you're the early bird, you might get a gift. You might get something.
Okay.
And then if you want to become a part of the BizChicks community, you can do that as well. 2 ways of doing that. You can go to bizchicks.net. It'll take you right on over to our YouTube channel. Join the community there. Or you can text Biz to 33777 and join that way, and you'll stay up to date on everything that we've got going on, workshops and more great in content. And then every Friday we are here talking tech. Tuesdays, TJ is here in the Tuesday mornings. Oh my gosh, you really need to tune in on Tuesday mornings. We learn so much. And then we will be back all next week, starting on Monday.
Guys, we'll see you then. Thank you so much for your time. And remember, we are looking forward to seeing you here at bizchicks.net. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.